Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing. How now, brown cow? How now, brown cow? Hello, my name is Kyle Daly. Okay, that's a little too much. Hi there, my name... No. My name is Kyle Daly. Welcome to my show. You know what, I know how to start this. Let's add a little music. Hi there, my name is Kyle Daly, and I am a journalist. Welcome to my podcast. This is my first time creating a podcast, so I hope you enjoy it. Today, we're going to do a little journalism experiment. So we're going to call this episode Journalism 101, How to Find a Story. First, let me back up a little bit. Yesterday, I was in downtown Phoenix out on a run, and you have to understand something about me. When I'm running, I can just lose myself in my thoughts. I have memories and ideas just bouncing all over my brain. I've almost gotten hit by cars and bikes. I actually might be that next guy that literally runs off a cliff because he's not paying attention, which is going to be a sucky way to die, but at least I'll die doing something I love. Alright, that was a little morbid. Getting back on track. So here's what I was thinking about during my run. For the past few weeks, I've been listening to some of my favorite podcasts. This American Life and Radio Lab. And I started thinking, well, I'm a journalist. Why can't I just go out and produce my own podcast? So about 1 mile into my run, I'm thinking, all right, I'm going to do this. But here's the question. What is my podcast going to be about? Why should people listen? And so two memories hit me. Again, my mind, it's bouncing all over the place. These memories didn't hit me simultaneously, thank goodness, but one after the other. The first memory is something a friend told me about 4 years ago when I was still in college. She was actually an editor for our university paper at the time. I was a reporter. She said to me, "You can walk 10 feet in any direction and find a story." Which to me, as a journalist, that makes perfect sense. So let's say you walk 10 feet one way and stumble upon a road. As a journalist, you start asking questions. Well, how did this road get here? Who paid for the road? Did anyone injure themselves while making this road? I don't know if you'd ask that question right off the bat, but you get the idea. There's a story somewhere. You just gotta start asking the questions. Okay, that was the first memory. Second memory that hits me while I'm running. Last week, I told my roommate a crazy story, an incident that actually happened to me recently, about a friend of mine that mistook me for a burglar trying to break into his house. I won't go into that story. We might save it for another podcast. But after I told my roommate that story, he said, "Man, you have the best stories. I wish I had stories to tell like that." And you know what? He's right. I do have a lot of weird things that happen to me, but there's a catch, obviously. I have to perform an action in order for something interesting, weird, or stupid to happen to me. I can't just be sitting on the couch all day. I believe that's one of Newton's laws of physics. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. That's right. So taking these two memories, I told myself, you know what? I'm just gonna go out with my recorder into the world and find a story. Find something interesting to talk about or tell. Just let something happen to me, and I'll turn it into a podcast. So I guess that's what the podcast I'm trying to create is about. Just finding stories. And that's why I'm calling today's episode Journalism 101, because that's what I actually tried to do. Luckily, I had my recorder with me yesterday, so I started immediately. So I'm at the Tempe Town Lake, and if you've ever gone to the lake on the weekends, maybe this is done on weekdays also, I'm actually not really sure, but you will see people riding I forget what they're called, the scooters. Jumping in really quickly, I was trying to remember the word Segway. Segway. It just wouldn't come to me. Anyway, back to the story. There are people here in the parking lot who are going around on the scooters. Here's the pickle that I'm in. I actually come to the Tempe Town Lake parking lot after I finish a run. It might be around the Tempe Town Lake. It might be in Phoenix. But I use my car as a changing room. The parking lot is big enough where I can park far away and nobody will see me. But yeah, people are riding around on those scooters, and I'm going to try to change in the car, so hopefully they don't come up and peek in. Quickly. Okay, changing underwear on, jeans. Come on. Alright, people on the scooters are stopped. They're in a circle right now. They're not near me. So, I don't think they're gonna come over and see. Alright, pants. Yes! Alright. Success. Zip. Alright, and the shirt doesn't really care. I'm a guy. You see me shirtless, that's totally fine. It's acceptable in American society. Success. Let's all just agree that would have been a better story had someone come over and seen me naked. You were all anticipating it. Sorry, I failed. And I knew that when I was recording it at the time. I really needed to go out and find people to talk to in order to make this podcast remotely interesting and to find a possible story. So, next stop, Cartel Coffee Lab in downtown Phoenix. Now, I call this place the hipster hangout. I actually stand out when I go to this establishment for the sole fact that I don't have a beard. Most of the people are my age, either in their mid-20s or a bit younger. A lot of ASU students frequent the place. So I go in and order a large iced chai. I get my drink, I sit down on a couch. There are tables and couches at this place, and I look at my options. Who's going to be my interviewee? After looking around, I form 3 options in my head. There's this one really interesting looking dude who has this red shirt on and bright white pants with suspenders. He just looks like an interesting character. But he's still sitting at a table filled with people, and there's no extra chairs, so I can't really come up to him and sit down and start having a conversation. So, ixnay to him. Option 2 is this really pretty girl who's sitting on a couch right across from me. She's petite brunette with beautiful cat-like eyes. She's all alone, reading a book and listening to music on her phone. Has her naked feet propped up on the couch, which doesn't disgust me, it just makes her a little more interesting. But I don't go up to her because I get really nervous talking to any girl I'm attracted to, and I already look weird coming up to a stranger and asking them to be involved in a podcast that really has no theme whatsoever at this point, and I'm working on a story that I don't know what the story is. And I can't lie to her and say, hey, I'm Kyle with the New York Times. That's just unethical. And really, when it comes down to it, I believe she would have thought I was hitting on her in a very weird way. And I didn't want to go down that route. So That left me with option 3. I'm sitting next to a guy on this couch who is reading a book. He's thin, has a beard, looks to be about my age. He's wearing jeans and a regular laid-back t-shirt that doesn't have any inscriptions on it or any words. And I turned to him and explained to him that I'm making this podcast, I'm a journalist, and I asked him, can I interview you? To my surprise, he's like, yeah, sure, but he doesn't want to give me his name. And I was like, you know what? This is just an experiment I'm doing right now. That's fine. So here's actually some of the interview I had with this guy, and I learned a lot about him. Here's his story.
I'm 27. I'm a graduated student. I work for an energy consulting firm.
So, what brings you down here today? What's happening?
I live around the corner. I've been coming to this place since my undergrad, so I don't know, 5-6 years now.
Oh, wow.
Just a nice little weekend getaway to come read for a little bit.
Are you originally from Arizona, or?
No, I'm from New Jersey originally.
New Jersey? No kidding. Did you move here when you went to school?
I moved out here when my dad retired.
Oh, okay.
So I was like 9, and I've been out here for the whole rest of that time. So.
All right. Do you think you're gonna move somewhere else later in life, or are you just gonna stay?
Yeah, I think I'm itching to move here pretty soon. I'll probably end up in either Seattle or Denver here in the next 2 to 5 years, I'd say.
Why Seattle or Denver?
I love both cities. I got family in Seattle and friends up there. Kids I used to play music with. So I've just been here too long. I love it, but I need some new weather, new environment.
Totally a rookie mistake on my part. The guy just said he played music, or at least used to. Could have been a story there, but I really got nowhere with him in the end. I later turned off my recorder, and we started chatting a little bit about books and my own life. And in the end, I did make a friend, at least for a short time. As for a story, there wasn't really one there. But then again, I probably didn't ask the right questions or enough questions. But I did it. I went out and interviewed someone. I did some digging and got material, at least to put a podcast together, which you guys are hearing right now. I hope you guys liked this pilot episode of my podcast. I actually did meet other people that day, which I hope to tell you about on a future podcast, so kind of stay tuned. But for now, I'll leave it at that. This podcast is already running long. But I want to hear your feedback. What do you like? What did you not like? Send me a Facebook message or email me at kjwolf777@yahoo.com. That's kjwolf777@yahoo.com. Don't ask me about that name. That actually might be a good story for later. But I appreciate it. Thanks for listening, and until next time.
You have reached the voicemail box of 5202.